Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and I'm finally up, about, and human. For those who don't know, I did explain in the first video of the day, my wife's just got back from Barcelona. I had to get up at silly o'clock in the morning, get over to the airport, pick her up, get home. It was 4:30 before I got to bed, probably about 5:15 by the time I got to sleep. I'm running on like vapours, as it were, at the moment, and you saw me first thing this morning, I was just like, and I didn't think I'd want to inflict that upon you, so I did the sort of ones where I'm just talking over and you get a nice picture, but hopefully an even better picture now. Hey, so we've got this story about Joanna Cherry. Now, this one is quite good. We all know how Joanna sits on the fence in terms of her views, particularly of Humza Yousaf, but also her views on gender reform, on transing, especially transing children, and all sorts of other things. Really, we know she's not the fan of what's currently going on within the party. She remains within the party. I think that's wrong. I think she should leave. I think her natural home would be the Tories. I think she'd be welcomed by the Tories if she did, and she'd stand a good chance of actually winning a seat for them, to be fair. She's a very highly respected MP. I think she's quite intelligent. Makes you wonder what the hell she's doing in the SNP. Anyway, she's come out and she has openly today called for what the Greens are having. She wants a meeting, a discussion, and then a vote on the Bute House agreement. We all know that she dislikes the Greens. She doesn't like them personally. She doesn't like their politics. She is loathing of their stance on various aspects of sexuality. And so for her, it would be an absolute bonus if she could arrange for the SNP party, as a party, to have some kind of discussion and vote to avoid and basically put aside that 2021 agreement that Nicola Sturgeon brought in to maintain a majority in Holyrood. That was effectively all it was for. It was because Nicola was a bit lazy, didn't want to run a minority government. Because if you're running a minority government, you can only do the things that other people want you to do. Although it seems that Labour are quite happy to do everything that the SNP can do anyway. Labour would have voted in the Gender Reform Act. Labour would have voted in the hate bill and so forth. I don't know why they went in with the Greens. But you have, you made your decisions and now you've got to stick with them. And of course, Humza Yousaf utterly is. He has tied his colours to the mast, the SNP mast, and he's stuck with them. And even now, as the SNP want to leave the Bute, as the Greens want to leave the Bute House agreement and part the ways with the SNP, he's saying, no, they must stay. Of course, Harvey and Jeffrey are sitting there saying, oh, yes, 100,000 a year, absolutely. But the rank and file Greens have had enough. And of course, the rank and file SNP also have had enough. What you've got is two parties, each one seeing the other one as being toxic. Weird, isn't it? But she's come up, this is Cherry, she's come up, she's the Edinburgh South MP, and she said that it must be this vote. It's now the time is right, that there is enough calls within, that she knows, within the party. She's saying everything is failing, and now that the climate bill has failed, or the climate targets have been failed, she says now's the ideal time. She disagrees with them anyway. She said from day one they were unachievable. She says that everything seems to be Greens policy. Everything that the SNP are doing seems to be Greens policy. They can't push SNP policy. And yet all their policies are failing because the Greens are failing. She also says it's undemocratic to have the likes of Harvey and Slater in government, given how small their vote share was. There was other parties with bigger vote shares, the Lib Dems, for example, that should have been looked at first, in order to maintain any kind of democratic mandate. I think absolutely she's right there. She's not the only one in the party calling for it, of course, but we did the video earlier. Alex Neil, he's saying the time is right. You have others from day one, obviously, the likes of, what's his name, Fergus Ewing. Now, Fergus Ewing has never, ever been a fan of the SNP. And far from it, he dislikes not just everything they stand for, but everything they've actually done. He wants an A9 duelling. And the SNP have done, sorry, not the SNP, the Greens have done everything they possibly can to frustrate that, to stop that. He wants the A96, refurbed and duelled. They've done everything they can to stop that. It's industries that, relate to where he comes from in Inverness. Tourism, they don't like that. They want to control the short-term letting through Harvey's madness on rent reforms and things. And he says that everything they're doing is bad for the people of Scotland and certainly terrible for the people of his constituency. And again, he's one of the good guys. He's one of the few that you can look at and respect, regardless of what party you're from. And again, he's someone I think is a natural Tory. But, he's there. Then you've got Kate Forbes. She's anti the Greens for various other reasons. And of course, her latest one is this ban on wood burners. And she's saying when you're out there in the Highlands and Islands, sometimes it's the only thing that's keeping you from dying on a cold winter's night, especially if there's a power cut. And of course, these people don't know where the Highlands are. They couldn't point to, couldn't point to the Isle of Skye on a map, could they? They wouldn't know. They all live in that little central belt, and they think, oh yes, look at us, furthest they get is Falkirk or Dunfermline. They've never been any further than that. And for them, the life of a Highland and Islander is something completely alien to them. But they're sitting there happy to pontificate on how people must rule their lives. And Cherry sees it. She disagrees with everything. So she is leading this charge. And quite right too. And so you do have this core within the party, this core of sensible people. Few, not many. But you have this core of sensible people calling for the Greens to go, explaining why they must go, explaining one policy at a time why every policy they have is wrong. And then you have a leader who couldn't find his own arse with two hands and a roadmap, sitting there, sucking up to Patrick Harvey, kissing the ring, and thinking, oh, the Greens are the greatest thing ever. Look at the Greens. Aren't they brilliant? Aren't they keeping us in power? No, they're not keeping you in power. They're destroying your power. They are in power. You, Humza Yousaf, are not. You're just a lapdog, a lackey, a lickspittle. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Let's hope that they do have their vote. Either the Greens vote to leave, or the SNP have their vote and they leave, or they get rid of Humza Yousaf and Kate Forbes comes in, and that's all over as well. There's so many different ways for the future to be saved. Thank you very much. Take care, and I will speak to you later. Bye.